Hello everybody. Today we are going to have a conversation. Of course, we've been having conversations. We've been attempting to have conversations in English in Idamvalam, but I could say that lack of time, because so many other assignments have occupied us, that we were not in a position to continue it. But then we are trying to revive it, and I believe that there will be a positive response for this as well. Now, when I was contemplating as to whom I should invite to be a guest, because of course I can have a monologue, talk what I have in my mind, speak what I have in my mind and go about it, but then I decided that it would be better that if we have a conversation with like-minded people, and that is when our line Govindarajan sir, who more or less matches with my wavelength, I should say, in terms of my political preference or my thought process. So I invited him and he was gracious enough to oblige, and he has come to my studio, and here we have him. So let me invite him to our studio and we will start off the conversation right away. Hello sir, namaste.
Yeah, namaste.
So I think you were not in town for a few days, because we were planning to have this conversation last week, but then you were telling me that you were not in town. But then where were you?
Yeah, I had been abroad. I had been to UAE.
Okay.
I went to Abu Dhabi and I went to Dubai. My organization, we are also into media. I am one of the directors of a...
Why don't you explain about your organization, sir, to start with?
My organization, Olive Hill Media, we are into an event management company. We organize events mainly focusing on spiritual discourse events. So in this connection, we have been organizing spiritual events in India in various metros like Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, all these places. And in Tamil Nadu alone, we have organized a lot of discourses, spiritual discourses at various cities like Madurai, Trichy, Coimbatore, Kumbakonam, Tanjavur, all these places. So we wanted to take it up to the next level. So I have a good contacts because of my earlier association as a banker. Working for an international reputed bank, so I had a lot of connects in Middle East, especially UAE. So we got some invite for us to organize spiritual discourse, to conduct spiritual discourses in Abu Dhabi and in Dubai. So we organized a spiritual discourse event that is on 16th and 17th of February on two major topics of our great Indian epic Ramayana and Mahabharata. So we organized that discourse with an eminent Upanyasakar. So we organized with Dushyant Sridhar. So he was the person who delivered the discourse on Tirupugadil Ramayana and Draupadi Shabadam. On this topic, we organized 4 events, 2 events in Abu Dhabi and 2 events in Dubai. The response was overwhelming. We had in these 4 events approximately more than 3,000 people participated in these 4 events. And when I witnessed this side of a response, I still, we are charged, energized that still the Sanatana Dharma is there.
No, see, I have always found that wherever people go, wherever outside the country people travel, they have ensured that they've never forgotten their roots. That is something that they have never, you could leave back your friends, your relatives, your native place, so on and so forth, but your roots, that clings on to you wherever you go. So I don't think people get out of it.
Absolutely, we could witness that in these.
And especially the realization is there more with people who are outside, because they miss it for whatever constraints that they have. They have their own requirements, they have their own pressures, pulls and whatever.
Yeah.
But with all that, they are nostalgic when it comes to their roots, and that's when they do whatever little bit that they can to ensure that the whole concept is kept alive outside India.
Yeah.
So to that extent, your effort is appreciable. But let me come back to the topic that is favorite to us, which is what we all cling on to, because the elections are around the corner. So definitely, when you have been there, that should have been part of the discussion.
Yes, of course. Apart from the spiritual discourses, I interacted with select a focus group. I would rather say that I had a focus group discussion with few of the people, with the mix of youngsters, middle-aged and old people. They have still their friends, relatives, their family, they are all here in Tamil Nadu. I did had a very nice interaction with this focus group, just to see the pulse of, just to understand the pulse of the politics, especially the Indian, our national politics, and also the regional politics. The people still, the mindset of the people there whom I have interacted. When it comes to regional politics, they are very, very clear. They wanted to, first, they feel that they are an Indian. They are proud to say that they are an Indian.
Okay.
Second, they feel they are a Tamilian.
I understand.
Okay, so that they don't wanted to, mellow down on those aspects. Second is Tamilian. So that is, Tamilian is basically talking about the Dravidian.
I understand the identity part of it.
Yeah, so that part they are very, very clear, and they felt that the ADMK rule under the leadership of late MGR and late Jayalalitha madam, they felt it was very good, very commendable, and especially for them being people who are residing abroad, they felt their people, their parents, if you take an youngster, they felt that their parents or their siblings, they feel that they are in a safe place. That is the first and foremost. When they have to work in abroad, first the security of their family has to be intact. So in that front, they felt that Tamil Nadu is the safe place.
Of course.
So
it has been a safe place, to be very honest with you, because there have been a lot of talk of late, especially because I find that the newly airdropped, should I say, airdropped state president of the BJP goes about, because I look at him as a wannabe politician. I don't look at him as an aspiring politician, because an aspiring politician will have the urge to learn, but a wannabe politician will try to salvage what he can in whatever chaos that he attempts to create. So that is how I look at him. So he has been trying to instigate emotions, especially among the Brahmin community, when he comes out and says that Brahmins were treated like the Holocaust, in 1970s, which is absolutely unacceptable thought process. Either he is ignorant of what the Holocaust meant, what it actually did to people in Europe in 1930s, and to equate it with the kind of anti-Brahmin sentiment that was prevailing in Tamil Nadu, which we are not going to deny, and say that yes, we did have rabble rousing in the name of anti-Brahmin movement, and we did have a lot of venom being spewed. But did it really go to the extent of a Holocaust, as he is claiming? I think he is hyping it just for narrow political gains. And I think, I believe that is plain stupid, because given the fact that in states ruled by his own party, for example in Uttar Pradesh, though you have Brahmin representation in the assembly, considerable Brahmin representation in the assembly, and that is because of significant Brahmin population in the state, but you still have atrocities committed against the Brahmins day in and day out in that state. You have people being killed because of their Brahmin identity. Almost every day we have incidents coming up, and the state's apathy is so visible that if it is going to be, the victim is going to be from any other community, say the Dalit or any other community, then the government is more receptive, or is more, the response mechanism is far more better. But if it's a Brahmin, that response mechanism comes with an element of lethargy. Now this is the argument put forward, and this happens in a state that is touted to be part of the double engine Sarkar, because you have them in the center and you have them in the state, and they claim that the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, the present Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, is all poised to take over the reins after the present Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now my question is, what locus standi do these people have to talk about the status of Brahmins in Tamil Nadu, especially because Brahmins in Tamil Nadu have economically been far better a community in compared to what their counterparts are in states, say like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, or for that matter even Himachal.
See, the question what you asked, see, I would like to again pick up a thread from your question, and I would like to add few more aspects into it. Yes, you are right in saying, especially in Uttar Pradesh, in Madhya Pradesh, the Brahmins has been treated totally in a different way. Just to quote an example, in March 2023, March 17th, I will even specify the date, March 17, 2023, a Brahmin lady, old woman, 65 plus year old woman in Madhya Pradesh, Sandol district, she was being gang raped and murdered brutally. This happened in the BJP ruling, the government.
BJP had added, almost barring the Kamalnath rule in between, BJP had ruled Madhya Pradesh for 20 years.
Yes, but this is, you see, the reality there is, this is just one example. I can quote so many examples like this, but I just want to quote this example. Similarly, when it comes to Uttar Pradesh, we have been hearing lot of such brutal rape, murder, and the treatment given to the Brahmin community is something which can't be digested by any Brahmin community. For that matter, if you take Bahujan Samaj party, the Mayawati, she did give lot of representation to the Brahmin community, much higher than what.
In fact, I would say Uttar Pradesh was far better for Brahmins under Mayawati rule, because Behan Mayawati, as I would like to call her, I always like to call her Behan Mayawati, because Mayawati ji, she brought in this Dalit Brahmin alliance.
Yeah.
And it worked out very well. For Brahmins of the state. See, I am more concerned about the status of Brahmins, because you make it a point of discussion, and when you make it a point of discussion, then we'll have to take it to the logical conclusion. Then we will have to pose questions as to what have you done for Brahmins in states where you rule.
Absolutely.
Then we take that as the precedent and say that okay, this is how you have performed, and therefore we will implement it here.
Yeah, the situation now, after implementing the Article 370 in Kashmir, people, they had lot of hope with the BJP government that the Pandits will be safe. But the reality is...
They have been saying that they are going to rehabilitate Pandits. They spoke about abrogation of 370. I say that the abrogation of 370 is a jumla because behind the scene they brought this Domicile Act.
Yeah.
Now the Domicile Act of 2020 makes it even more difficult.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For this rehabilitation process. Now, when the question was posed in the parliament as to how many people you have rehabilitated, I think the minister in charge came out and said about 86 families. 86, seriously? Is this your concept of what you can do for Pandits? They still are suffering in the slums of Delhi.
Yeah.
They spread over in so many parts, across India. I can tell you Kashmir Pandit families who have come and settled down in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
So my question is, what have you done for them to reclaim their properties? For example, the Roshni Act. The Roshni Act was a serious injustice done to the Hindus of Kashmir.
Yeah.
And when the Supreme Court comes out and strikes it down and says that it is unconstitutional, the BJP government along with Mehbooba Mufti was arguing against it. Now they have the present rule and still not a square feet of land has been reclaimed under this, even after deeming the Roshni Act unconstitutional. You do not even have 1 square foot of land reclaimed and handed over to the previous property owners, the Hindus.
Absolutely right.
So,
Absolutely
what
right.
have you done for Hindus?
No, it is just only doing propaganda, but nothing happens in reality. This is the truth one has to admit.
Is there modus operandi?
Yeah.
You have the Prime Minister now coming out and saying that he would be visiting, we're going to understand the first week of March, he would be visiting Sandeshkhali, where you have the communal strife going on in West Bengal. My question is, why is it that the Prime Minister did not consider it appropriate to visit Manipur?
See, with due respect to the Prime Minister, he is more concerned in bringing the Hindu culture and Hindu.
Now, what Hindu culture and what Hindutva did you bring in? I would like them to tell us.
No, the Prime Minister is more focused on self-promotion about him and about his party's one of the agenda of promoting the temple, promoting those aspects. That is
come on, sir. If someone is going to come out and say that the Ram Mandir, if that is what you are going to infer, if the Ram Mandir is going to be touted as an achievement of the BJP, I would say the BJP was a party that kept on putting spokes in getting a judicial solution to this. They were even opposed to it.
See, my question is, I would like to ask these questions to the entire BJP party. When they are giving so much of importance to build the Ram Mandir, why not the same importance and priority is given for the Muslims to construct the mosque? The Supreme Court has given verdict to construct a mosque for the Muslims and construct temple for the Hindus. But why the yardstick? Why temple first?
I even go one step ahead and ask you, why should there be a provision within Ayodhya to build a mosque? You do not have a Muslim population there. Significant Muslim population is not there. It was never the case. But why did you have to give that as a compensation? Now the question goes to the court. Of course, the court is the absolute authority when it comes to legal matters, and therefore they have taken this stand and we respect it. But the moot question that I would like to put across to politicians here is, we as Hindus fought for 500 years and the legal wrangle went on across 3 centuries.
Right.
And there were a lot of spokes which came in between, especially the demolition of the mosque. The demolition of the Babri Masjid actually delayed the process of the Hindus, to my understanding, as I read the court verdict, as I read how the court wanted the trial to go about, especially the Supreme Court. That gives us enough reason to believe that the demolition of the mosque actually complicated the entire process, including the ASI research. It was all hampered. Now, having said that, you do not even have it in you to go to the court and say, I mean, we were responsible for demolishing the mosque. No, you are not ready to accept that. You are in a denial mode when it comes to demolition of the mosque.
Yeah.
But you want the whole world to believe that you are the people who are building the temple, whereas it comes from contributions from all the world,
all walks of
across
life.
the world, and people from all walks of life, as you rightly put it, and people who believe in the Hindu Dharma, who believe that this is an achievement of their belief and not one political party. You have hijacked it for your own narrow political purposes, where you do not even have the conviction to go to the court and say that, look, we are responsible for demolition of the mosque. Even today, your Rajya Sabha MP, who was from Maharashtra, was actually from if you look at the photograph, he was standing on top of the dome, demolishing the mosque. Well, you do it as a symbol. Whenever elections are around, you do all this symbolic, gimmicks, should I put it. But you do not have it in you to come out and own up and say, yes, we were responsible for it. Why?
Right.
Because your intention is to derive political mileage out of it. To hell with Hindutva, to hell with all that.
See, how I look at BJP is a party. They say that they are secular, but in reality they are not. They are a party. How I look at it is built based on Hindutva and Hindus like that. But
no, but what Hindutva did they actually protect?
Absolutely nil. If you see the protection of Hindus or protection of things, absolutely, when it comes to the reality, I don't see that, they have done, maybe if you look at the percentage, hardly less than 5 to 10% they must have done, they have introduced policies or done something for the Hindu community. But it is all self-promotion. You take all the leaders right from top, the national leaders and the regional leaders, everybody are interested. If you look at the BJP party, everybody is a leader there in the BJP, and hardly you can find the cadres. So it is a party with more leaders rather than the cadres. So it is rather, it all a political party should depend on the cadres. So
I have a little bit of a difference with you in the sense that they do have the cadres, but of course in a state like Tamil Nadu they do not have. But
I'm talking about Tamil Nadu.
Now, in Tamil Nadu, if we come back to Tamil Nadu, the question is, you have an airdropped political novice and who is being jacked up by different people in different places. If you will be finding it really humorous to find that Tamil Nadu dialogues, I call it the Tamil Nadu diapers, that would be the right adjective. They come with these elite, Brahmin community people sitting there. I call them smitten fanboys, which is what they are. So, and they try to project this Robin Hood who's been airdropped, who has absolutely no political experience.
If you look at
not any political maturity, and who has turned out to be a blabbermouth and a motormouth, who makes it a point that he has to be, who I believe is suffering from a serious attention-seeking disorder, because he cannot survive without giving a press meet.
Okay.
It could be anything. It could be a trivial issue, but still he has to be in front of the mic, in front of the cameras. That is the kind of personality that we have here, and this personality goes about claiming that Brahmins, as though he is a protector of Brahmins. Well, he has done nothing for the cause of Brahmins.
I agree.
He knows nothing about what the travails of the Brahmins have been or has been. He knows nothing about how the Brahmins have conducted themselves all along in Tamil Nadu, and how we have a party like AIDMK, which is actually supported or protected interests of the Brahmins.
Absolutely right. See here.
And I think you would be the best person to talk about it, because you, hailing from the community, you were also active in that period when it really mattered.
Yeah, absolutely. See, when I compare now, since you said about the leadership, the Tamil Nadu leadership of the BJP party, as you rightly said, his experience is at the novice level. I would say that when it comes to political experience, he is at a very, very novice level. He is not even at a practitioner level, or level not considered about the next two levels. He is at a very, very novice level. So he is in the learning curve. So he has to learn a lot, learn from senior leaders who are veterans, who have put at least 3-4 decades of experience in political arena. You should learn from them if he doesn't know, but he should not portray himself as if he knows everything in politics. So this is my personal opinion. But when it comes, you should understand the people's mind. You should go deep dive and understand the basics of understanding the people. First of all, he doesn't understand the party cadres. That is number one. Then only if he understands the party cadres, the feedback comes from the party cadres.
I think he is under the impression that social media, the social media noise is actually a reflection of what the people feel.
So it is, as you rightly said, having some 50, 60, the so-called, his pampered people who used to pamper him a lot.
And fanboys.
Okay, you call them fanboys. Okay, I call them people pamper, and then he gets that, he likes that pampering a lot, and then he does give importance for those people who pamper. But let me come to the facts now. See, the Brahmin community people mindset, it has been there as a lineage year after year, year after year. If you look at the politics for the last 3-4 decades, the entire Brahmin community, it's a captive votes. The entire community, the entire votes as a captive to one particular party. It does not split unless the other, communities. If you look at the other community, it gets split into various, political parties. But the Brahmin votes is a total captive votes. Almost 85% it goes to one single party as a huge captive things. That has been the history, and till the last election it was like that. So maybe they are in the cloud 9, as if they may get this captive the Brahmin votes, but in reality this is not going to happen. The people will, especially the Brahmin community people, they will definitely teach him a lesson. He is under the cloud 9, he is under the daydreaming himself that he will get the majority chunk. Maybe there will be some odd cases, there are some exceptions.
Yeah, of course, he will be having a traction because his lies and prevarication will always have a gullible set of people falling for it. And therefore, for those gullible people, yes, he could be center of attraction. But beyond that, when people start calling his bluff, which is what I believe I am doing.
See, I recently had a discussion last week. I was discussing with one of the leader who belongs to the Brahmin, one of the association. He has been a leader of a district leader. I don't want to mention his name, but I was interacting with him and understanding about the ground reality. So he said that the people, especially in the Brahmin community, only at the city sides, Chennai and the cities, they may be, get carried away, whatever the BJP leader says, they get carried away. But when you go down to the villages, small towns, people, they never even bother. So he quoted, the gentleman quoted, narrating the story of Cho Ramaswamy. In fact, I would like to recall what he said. After that, I saw that incident when Cho Ramaswamy did a campaign for one of the Congress leader. I don't recall.
Comrades.
Okay. Congress leader. He was there campaigning for him. There was a huge crowd. Okay. The huge crowd. Cho Ramaswamy said, okay, he got convinced that it is going to get into it. Yeah. But when they are traveling in the car, all the people are said showing two fingers and leaves. 2 leaves, 2 fingers. Everybody said smiling that. Then Cho Ramaswamy said, okay, all the crowd is not going to turn. He told that person are going to lose.
Talk about the crowd and how the crowd responds and so on and so forth. I agree with you on that. But then what I am trying to look at here is when you talk about the community, when you come out and say that you are the Messiah of the community, I don't know that it's right to even use the word Messiah because it's an Abrahamic, coinage term. But then still, be that as it may. Now the question is, if you are going to say that you are the protector of this community, then tell us what have you done for this community, other than coming out and talking about, talking nonsense, making stupid claims that equating what the Brahmins went through in 1970s. Now I am not trying to trivialize it one bit. I am sensitive to that as well. But when I look at it, from the point of view that, or from the point of situation that we have today in India, I think I find the Brahmins are far better off than many other states ruled by the BJP.
Of course, yes.
And it's a very wrong statement that he makes. It's a very sweeping generalization that he indulges in when he comes out and says that Brahmins actually were driven out from the state of Tamil Nadu because of the EVR rhetoric that went about. Now that is wrong. Brahmins have been in the center stage.
Yeah, of course.
And we've had 2 Brahmin chief ministers, women chief ministers.
Yeah, Madam Jayalalitha and Madam Janaki.
And Jayalalitha was ruling the state for more than 2 decades.
Yeah.
And that too, she was leading a Dravidian party, which is supposed to hail from an anti-Brahmin movement. Now, having said that, were the Brahmins actually driven out from Tamil Nadu? No. Maybe you might have stray incidents, but to have a sweeping generalization and say that Brahmins were driven out of the state, no. They went out of the state seeking better economic opportunities.
Absolutely, you hit the nail on its head.
Because in 1980, I still remember my own personal experience, I could say, is my uncle or my dad's brother, when he moved out to the United States in 1980s, his brother-in-law had also been there for almost a decade at that time. He had moved in 1970s or 60s or whatever. So he had given him the sponsorship and he had taken him there. So his whole family moved in there. Now when I look at my family, my extended family, I could say that almost 60% of them are in the United States. Not one of them were driven away from here, which means that this whole concept of Brahmins being driven away, harassed to the extent that they ran out of the state is all bullshit.
Yeah.
That's all nonsense, crap.
Yeah.
You are talking that for your cheap thought process of trying to instigate the emotions of people and trying to garner votes by that in that process. I think that is condemnable.
Highly condemnable. See here.
You are trying to say, actually, as I look at it, you are trying to say we are cowards. Brahmins are not cowards. We did not run away. We were there in this state. We have been there in this state.
See, just let me ask again. See, when he says that he is the savior of Brahmins, let me just again quote yet another example. You see, the present Sankaracharya has never returned to the Kanchi Kamakoti Mutt since 2 years.
Yeah.
What is, if they are really
They
protecting,
claim that
why
in
don't we
between.
bring back?
No, they claim that in between he did come. Now my question is, don't you find it mysterious
Yes.
that he is? It's been almost more than a year that he has not set foot in Kanchi.
But
And they go back to 2004 and say no, the Kanchi Mutt, they were the Kanchi Mutt seer was arrested by ADMK and Jayalalitha and so on and so forth. Jayalalitha did what she had to do as a chief minister.
no, as a statesman,
And she was on record when she went out and said that this is a decision that I had to take with the very heavy heart, because
no, she
law has to play its course.
absolutely. She, as a true statesman, she has to be unbiased. She has to ensure that the law and order is maintained. So, and the affected party in that
And she was never judgmental.
Yeah, she is never
She
judgmental.
was never judgmental, and the victim
is also a Brahmin.
and a poor Brahmin family, and the victim actually was murdered inside the temple complex.
And
now, do you think that is an affront?
I will again say that, if that is the case.
No, is that not an affront on Sanatana Dharma? That you have a poor Brahmin being killed inside the premises of a temple? Do you not find it as as an affront on the Sanatana Dharma? That the family still claims that justice has not been rendered? That there was no appeal, which should have actually happened. Now, I am not going to take sides. I am having the highest respect and regards for Kanchi Mutt, and I have the highest regards and respect for Sri Mahapariva, and I consider him as my guide, which is a different story altogether. I do not want to confuse issues, but when I put myself in the shoes of an administrator, and when I am going to look at it, that an FIR has been filed and there is prima facie evidence, then I have no business coming and telling to the police that no, you cannot take action on them because he is I cannot do that. I may be with a heavy heart, which is what she was. That's what she claimed. And I am with a heavy heart. I hope and wish that justice prevails, and I am doing something which I do not wish to do.
In fact, that's the true leadership approach. That's the true statesmanship. She has to be unbiased. She has to ensure that the law, and again I repeat.
In fact, Chor Ramaswamy goes on record. To read it when he gave an interview immediately after this incident. He says that he believes that the police would not have acted unless otherwise there was prima facie evidence. Now, just because the police acted, which they had to, does not mean that the person is guilty, but they have to act nevertheless.
See, for the people to understand and believe on the truth, it will take time. The people of Tamil Nadu, especially the Brahmin community, they understood. Later on, immediately after that, there was an election. You see how ADMK has, garnered the votes of the Brahmins.
In fact, Mylapore, which is considered a Brahmin bastion, which it is not. If you really look into the electoral demo, if you look into the community-wise, representation in Mylapore, you will find the fishermen community to be larger in number, but still it is seen as a Brahmin bastion. Mylapore, the MLA.
Nagaraj, ex-IPS.
SV Shekhar.
SV Shekhar, yeah.
Immediately after the Kanchi Mutt, he was candidate and he won.
Not only that, see
and he won against a bigwig, Napoleon, the DMK, which goes to say that you cannot be selective and you say that no, 2004 this happened, we forgot about it in 2006, we forgot about it in 2011, we forgot about it in 2014, we forgot about it in 2019 when the alliance was there with the BJP, we forgot about it in 2021 when the alliance was there with the BJP, but now the alliance is not there with the BJP, and we suddenly remember that the Kanchi seer was arrested in 2004. Now you tell me, if this is not hypocrisy,
this is absolutely the hypocrisy. That's what I wanted to, quote this as an example.
The problem is, these people are not worried about the Kanchi Mutt. Their worry is that the BJP is not taking off.
See, they thought the BJP's calculations went wrong. They were looking at, even till a few days back, they thought they will somehow get ADMK, they will try to bring into their fold, but ADMK
I can tell you proudly that I was one of the initial people who worked for or who started this campaign that ADMK should come out of the alliance with BJP, because it was not doing or it was not adding any value to ADMK. Rather, BJP, whether I don't know the center is aware of all this, but the BJP in Tamil Nadu, it was creating confusion within the ADMK. It was trying to fish in muddy waters.
Yeah, I think I would advise the ADMK cadre to go and see the records, how much of vote percentage they have got in all the constituencies. If they go by booth, if they did, I'm sure BJP's percentage may be definitely.
No, that is immaterial. See, the question is, when you are in an alliance, you speak about dharma, so on and so forth. The alliance dharma says that you do not create confusion within your own alliance partner.
Absolutely.
And which is exactly what this political novice was doing. And he was philandering, political philandering, should I put that word, because philandering will have sexual connotations, but then when I say political philandering, perhaps that will be right. He was indulging in political philandering with the OPS side, and he was giving them false promises, and now they are on the roads thanks to him, and he is still trying to show that his strategies worked out while none of them have worked out. And the last I heard is that he is running to Delhi, trying to convince his bosses there that somehow an alliance has to be stitched here.
So anyway, now if you look at again the people mindset, especially within the Brahmins community, still the educated people, the people who are in the villages, towns, especially who are in the taking care of agriculture, there are still Brahmin people who does agriculture as part of their profession, and there are some people working in the government sector. All of them, they feel that ADMK is the voice of Brahmin community. ADMK is the voice. There are a lot of.
Being practical. See, I do not believe that some party hailing from North India with their Jai Shri Ram slogans can come here and alter the equations overnight. And I am not here to wait for you to establish yourself. My immediate focus is on dislodging the DMK. And I believe, and I can do it. Let me be very practical. I have no love loss with ADMK. As a Brahmin, my focus is to dislodge the DMK. And I will latch myself to a party which is, which is having the best opportunity to do that. And I think that is the ADMK. And I am smart in making that choice. Or I have to be, rather than calling myself smart. I would rather say that I would take that smart choice of latching myself behind ADMK. Why will I go and latch myself behind a political novice whose only interest is in self-promotion, who has absolutely no, passion, he is not passionate about the ideology, I can tell you that. I am open in saying that I challenge him to come for a debate. For 10 minutes he won't stand. Okay. Now I'm not trying to say out of arrogance or out of any superiority complex. He is after all.
So you're just about to conclude.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I think we will have more to talk about this. We'll have more points to discuss on this in the coming days, and maybe there could be a sense of feeling.
Yeah. See, my appeal to my fellow Brahmin community members, I take this platform and appealing my fellow community Brahmin members. See, there is a saying, it's better to put more weight on a winning horse rather than on a losing horse. So this is what I would like to summarize. Don't waste or cast your votes to go and get itself wasted in the losing horse.
It's not even a losing horse, it's a lame donkey. That's how I look at it, and I would put it that way. people may think that I'm a little harsh, but then I can see through a fraudster. I can see through a fraudster, and that's why I say that the bluff should be called. And thank you so much for having participated in the conversation, and we will have more such conversations.
Sure. Thank you,
Namaste.
Kishore. Thank you.